Unravel. It's so nice to be back.
Hello.
As we are Canadian, we must apologize for not being here last week. Dave and I were both very, very, very sick.
Pretty much dead.
Almost dead. Almost dead.
We had very high fevers of like 99.9, no, 39.9.
They got a case of the T-hose.
Which in American is like 103, 104.
That is a high quality joke. I'm not backing off the T-hose.
102. I checked it out.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought I checked it. Anyways, it was a very high fever. We're better now, mostly. I didn't want to miss D&D for another week. Dave's still dying on the inside.
Always.
Anyways, welcome to Riff and Revel. We're a group of friends who play D&D. I'm Callie. I'm the DM. I try to hoard.
I try to hoard all the attention.
I try to hoard all the attention.
That's accurate.
That's why I'm the DM. I try to herd these cats. Try to, keep the shenanigans relatively clean, and try to bring this world to life so that these weirdos can play in it. So yeah, let's do a roll call. Joe, you could start.
Hello, my name's Joe. I play the dwarf Braddock Gritbriar, and he's just the bestest little dwarfy boy in the whole wide world. And he's the party's fighter. He's very much sword and shield and trying to keep everybody safe despite their best efforts not to be safe. He's the mama. He's the mama of the party. He bought everybody food last time. He's just been handing it out.
Like a ton of food.
Yeah.
An irresponsible amount of food, one might say.
Yeah. Yep, it's pretty irresponsible.
My name is Dave, and I play the elven wizard called Bravo Quarks. He is most everyone's best friend, and he remembers everything all of the time.
Travis?
Some of what he said was a lie. Hello, I'm Travis, and I play the group's human druid, Carrion. He talks like a terrible Sean Connery, and I'm sure that'll happen.
Very good, Sean Connery.
Yes, he's very good. And to get into character, I always go, yes. So everything that I say to anybody in the campaign starts with, yes. Why, yes. No, of course.
Even when somebody asks him, hey, Carrion, would you like to get kicked in the nar?
Yes.
Yes.
No. That sounds stupid.
It's his anchor, okay? Leave him alone.
Yeah.
It's an anchor.
Lauren?
And I am Lauren. I play the spunky half-elf cleric. She specializes in nature and has known Carrion for a little bit. She's a little bit of a brat, but we're working on it. She's got some life lessons to learn.
Don't we all?
She also specializes in attitude.
The sass.
Sass level 1000.
Yeah.
So, I think as you can see here, I have shown on the map the path that the party has taken thus far from when they first met to present. This is where they have traveled across Faerun and the Sword Coast. Just, a little visual. They've done quite a lot of traveling. Last time that we played, our party was in Luskin, much to Bravo Quarks' dismay, due to some unfortunate history there. But they decided to keep their stay short. They went straight for the harbor to hire a ship to take them to Waterdeep, where some clues possibly are leading. They have Serac of Bryn Shander in tow, as we frequently forget.
A good buddy.
Whom the frost giants seem to be tracking. And
So glad he's next to us.
Yes, that's great.
That's one reason we wanted the ship, Callie.
Well, we'll see if that'll be a wise decision or not.
Oh boy, we're
anyway.
gonna die.
No, I meant we can conjure up some rocks and like tie them to him. Be like, whoop!
I cast tiny hut.
Good luck in your new life for the next hour.
The party managed to track down a mostly reputable captain by the name of Zhao Han and negotiated a reasonable price for her to take them to Waterdeep. And they set sail the following day. She laid down the law.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her ship is her domain. And then everybody took up jobs except for North, who stayed sick in bed and tried her darndest not to throw up. And after a few days, a stowaway was discovered, a small tiefling child. She seems reluctant to speak to pretty much anybody. And the captain decided to make a stop in Port Last to drop off the stowaway. You're still a day or two out from Port Last, but so far the trip has been uneventful, if a little chilly, because you are in the north and it's about... you're almost at winter here, so... Good thing you have those Yeti skin coats. So, we are on a ship, and most of you are settling into your roles. Braddock is in the galley with the cook, and Bravo Quarks is following around the bosun. Sailing terms. Oral. I'm unfamiliar with most of these terms, so you'll excuse me. Fixing things on the ship. And then Carrion is most often in the crow's nest with Noga doing lookout stuff. And North is trying not to throw up.
The most noble of jobs.
Totally. But for the most part, you guys are settling in, and things are going fairly well. The child has been locked below decks just to keep her out of trouble. Not in any sort of cruel manner, just to keep her safe. And Pearl, the ship surgeon, has seen to her and seems unharmed, if a little malnourished. So, is there anything that you all wish to do, learn, figure out before you reach Port Last?
Not if this ship doesn't have cannons. My list is incredibly short if the boat doesn't have cannons. Otherwise, I do have a list.
This ship does have cannons.
Okay. I
It
have
is-
lots of cannon-based things that Braddock would like to get accomplished.
Yeah, it seems like a merchant ship other than, the cannons.
It's a merchant ship that also shoots.
See, we
I mean-
deliver the cannonballs at high velocity.
It
They're
is.
surprise cannonballs. No,
This
Braddock
ship
doesn't have
for
does
one.
hail from Luskin, and Luskin is a very pirate-heavy city.
No, Braddock doesn't have anything he
Right.
wants to do. Done.
Can heavy.
All right. Well, we have a couple days until Port Last.
I'd like to
in
do a
the-
thing. Or,
All right.
or several. What time of day is it?
It is just dawning on the fifth day from Luskin. So it's dawn.
Great.
Morning.
So, I'm assuming the dragon lady, the dragon mime, took the last shift.
Noga, yes.
So, just to catch everybody up, Noga is the lookout who Carrion is training with, but she's also a mime.
She's not a mime. She is a woman of few words.
A mime! And she's teaching Carrion to be an eyeball. So
She's a bad mime.
yeah. So Carrion would be very interested in talking to her before she leaves shift. So who knows where she goes after? I don't know.
Probably to sleep. She's been up all night. All right, so you climb up to the crow's nest, a climb that has become fairly easy for you at this point. Still a little, stomach and throat as you reach up higher and the wind starts to like tug on the ropes and that, but you get up there no problem, and she seems happy to see you, I guess. She doesn't really show much emotion.
If she were to mime it out, what would it look like?
She just sort of looks over and
Excellent.
gives you a little nod.
So here it comes. Yes, no.
Yes.
Now that you pointed it out,
You didn't notice it before? Oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
oh, I totally did, but it's funny.
Oh.
Say it.
Yes, Noga.
It's a verbal tick.
Yeah, sure. Totally, in canon. Noga, I was hoping to take over the night shift, if that would be okay with you.
Sure.
Oh. Excellent. Then I shall do that. What time should, or when about should I be ready and here?
I usually start a little after supper, so just before dusk, really.
All right, then. So it shall be. The stowaway business, I don't know if you saw much that was going on. You were still up here, but there's a little tiefling child being kept below deck. Do you think the captain would allow me to, or maybe release the child into my keeping?
That's probably something you'd have to ask the captain.
Yes, of course, but I mean, you know her much better than me, of course.
I guess it depends on why you want to take the child into custody and...
Well, she's
What?
really not doing much good in the brig, is she? At least she could help me keep lookout, maybe learn a thing or two.
You might be able to convince the captain if you can prove that she won't, like, attack people.
She's tiny. What good? How? Yes, I suppose.
I'm not implying that she's going to murder people, but it is irritating when you're trying to do potentially dangerous work and there's a small child biting you.
Yes, I can see how that would be a problem. The foxes
Wrath
in the
still has
forest
the...
are particularly guilty of that. The young cubs, anyway.
Ah, yes. I wouldn't know.
Ah. Well, now you do. All right, then. I appreciate the input. I will, see if I can... Actually, I'll probably find Wrath. That's probably better than speaking to the captain. Because his word is as good as the captain. She did say so.
For most things, yes. But yeah, he's on duty right now, so...
But then again, she did bite him. You did. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Noga. Your advice has been invaluable.
You're welcome, I guess. So...
Yes, go on.
No, yeah. I'm gonna stay up here for a while longer so that you're taking the night shift, yeah? That's...
I mean, if you need me to, I mean, you've had a long shift, so if you need some rest, certainly I can, what if we do like a half shift? You do half, and then I'll take half, and then take over the night shift. That's fine with you.
Sure. Sounds good.
Thank you. Would you like any food?
I'm okay.
All right, then. And he would, not clumsily, but carefully, start his descent down the rope. Oddly, he still has his staff with him. He doesn't leave it. He brings it with him, and he kind of like... That's really
How is
loud.
he accomplishing that?
He's like stuffing it into his clothing. He's not
I see.
like he's not holding it.
Right.
Just like stuffs it into his belt.
Yeah, he just stuffs it in and then shimmies up and just brings it with him because it's, he feels a little bit awkward without it.
Hmm.
So he would scurry his way down as fast as a portly man could and set off to find the captain.
All right. The captain is in her quarters at the back of the ship. There's a set of double doors. Currently, they're closed.
He would approach and rap on the door with the staff.
Enter.
And he would, carefully open up the door and kind of slip inside. Mrs. Captain. Yes. Hopefully I haven't caught you at a poor time.
Can I help you?
Yes. Well, I was hoping to help you. Sort of, I suppose. About the child below deck. I was hoping I could convince you to release her into my custody. You see,
Why?
I feel it's a bit wasted that she's just locked up down there. If she's going to be on the ship, at least she could earn her keep. She could help us keep watch. Perhaps learn a thing or two.
She's going to be on the ship for 2 days. What do you expect her to learn?
Maybe some manners so she doesn't sneak onto another ship. I don't know that the next captain will be so humane. He looks solemn. I don't know if I pull off the solemn look, but
The blue solemn.
She seems less than cooperative. If she is released, and running a ship is dangerous business. If she gets in the way or causes someone else harm, that's on me. Even if I release her into your custody.
yes, I understand that is a grave concern. But for some reason, she's taking a liking to me. Your medical officer can vouch for that. Your healer. He would not say medical officer. That is not a term that would come to his head.
Surgeon.
He would say emergency medical hologram.
Well, Pearl did say that she seemed to respond well to you. If she does not follow your commands immediately and to the letter, she will be going back into the brig until we land in Port Last.
Yes, that is most fair. Thank you.
If there's any trouble, it's on you.
I understand. Again, thank you.
Very well. Have Pearl release her into your custody. And I look forward to seeing this transformation.
best not get your hopes up too high then, but we'll take good care of her.
Very well.
And he would leave and go seek out the chief medical examiner officer.
Pearl
Yes, that's what I said.
is currently in the galley with Braddock and Gleph.
Karen doesn't know Glef's name, but that's a great name.
You know, Gleph, being the chef, has developed quite the taste. You could almost say he's got a Gleph power.
Low hanging fruit there.
Man, I can fix this. Let's just block him out here. Just get him right out of here.
So while Braddock is currently chopping vegetables, Gleph is distracted and talking with Pearl, who is sitting up on a barrel. And they're just sort of chatting, telling stories, while Braddock does all the work. He has proven quite adept in the kitchen, and Gleph is very pleased.
That was you.
Nice.
That's how you just start the conversation. That's your new anchor?
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, Braddock.
He just still looking down at his chopping. Yes, hello. Yep. Just not looking away.
Somehow I suppose I should have realized you were so handy with a knife.
He stops chopping for a second and looks over his shoulder. Yes, well, that does make good. And he just goes right.
Right then. Miss Pearl, if I may have a moment of your time, please.
Sure. What's up?
I managed to have the captain agree to release the tiefling child into my care for the time being.
Oh. Okay. Do you want her now?
That's a good thought that I hadn't thought of. Yes, might as well.
Okay. She hops down off the barrel that she's sitting on and starts making her way down toward the brig. Meanwhile, in the brig, the
way
girl.
over, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Before we get there. So, Pearl, would you happen to know what sort of place Port Last is?
Oh, it's a small town. It's not nearly as big as Luskin. Sort of nestled between some canyons, or cliffs. The coastline here is sheer cliffs, so there's really not much between Luskin and there's nothing between Luskin and Neverwinter except Port Last. It used to be a lot bigger, but there was a shift in the sands and the silt and that, and the harbor became a lot more shallow than it used to be, but...
Yes, I meant more in the... Is it like Luskin,
Oh, no. No place is quite like Luskin.
Yes, having been there, I am very aware of that now.
Oh, there's a lot of good people in Port Last. It's mostly like a sort of a mining town. There's a stone quarry that a lot of people work at, farm and things like that.
Yes, all right then. I was just concerned with dropping the child and leaving.
Well, if she survived this long in Luskin, she can survive just about anywhere.
Fair point.
All right, so... Okay. Down in the brig, the child is sitting in the sort of locked... it's usually used for storage. It's not an actual brig, but it is barred and the door is locked. Child is sitting in there. Bravo, Cork.
Uh, yeah. So Bravo is at the bars, on one side,
Mhm.
sort of just talking at the child.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's a pile of crumbled up rations that had been picked away at, that the child may have come and picked at, that Bravo had left there.
She ate all of them.
Okay, there's nothing left.
Yeah. She's very hungry.
Bravo would have been sat there talking at the child for hours on end, trying to console the child and just befriend them.
Uh-huh.
Ad nauseum, really. Regardless of how they feel about it.
And when you began, the girl was very hesitant, as she was the first time, and kept her distance. But the more food you fed her, and the more your talking went on, and she sort of figured out that you were pretty harmless. She became more comfortable drifting closer to you to get the food. And she started eating the food closer to you, and eventually, taking a more relaxed posture, and like her tail starts to sort of like curl up and around her shoulder and things. And every now and then, when you say things, she'll kind of like smile a bit, but she is still sort of skittish. But she does seem to be at least warming up a bit.
I imagine I would see Carrion approaching. Oh, well, yes. Hello. Carrion. The most delightful conversation we were having. Just talking about perhaps giants and their wonderful nature. Yes. Hello.
Yes. Good morning, bro.
Oh, is it morning already?
Yes.
Have you been here the whole night?
Well, I probably. The time is lost down here. There's no light.
It's okay, Pearl. He requires very little sleep, and he is very energetic somehow.
That seems true. All right. Well, Pearl walks up to the door and unlocks it, and the girl skitters to the back. And she opens the door and.
Oh yes, it's all right.
Carrion puts his hand on Bravo's shoulder. Yes, Bravo. It's one moment.
Yes, by all means, yes.
And pardon me, yes. And he slips. He slips. It's hard to drop it sometimes. He slips by into. He kind of like hunches down, because I'm assuming it's a small area.
Well, below decks is kind of cramped.
So he's probably hunched already then.
Well, your head sort of brushes the top of it. You don't quite have to hunch, but it's probably more of like a reaction.
Is the cage like the door like full to the roof?
Yes.
Oh, it is. It is.
Floor to
okay.
seat.
Oh, okay. So I was just picturing it like small. Oh, all right. Kirga, I managed to convince the captain to release you into my keeping.
Wonderful.
I see that you met my very good friend Bravo.
Yes. Well acquainted.
Yes, Bravo, I can see that. Perhaps, Kirga, you'd like to come out and have something to eat and drink? Though, I will say, the captain had me agree. You must follow what I say. Do what I ask, or you will be locked away again.
What do I have to do?
Is that in? Or
What's
is that?
No, I'm speaking in common to her still.
And she responded in common.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
for now, just have something to eat and drink. It's not so bad.
I'm pretty full.
wonderful, wonderful. You do speak. Wonderful.
So, Kieran... Oh, then thirsty, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the galley and see about a drink. Pearl, well, I suppose I can just tell you now, Kira. I perform lookout duties for the ship. So I was going to have you sit with me and help me with that, and we can talk. So,
I was going to have you shit with me.
don't make fun of my speech.
I mean, I guess I can look at things.
Yes, it's
Well,
it's very
it would be
important.
wonderful.
Sorry, go ahead, Bravo. Go ahead.
It would be wonderful for you to get out of this engagement. Yes, perhaps some fresh air would do you good.
Absolutely. Fresh air will cure many things. And it is a very important job, actually. But let's see about something to drink. And, Miss Pearl, she has my blanket, but I'm concerned her rags are not very warm. Do we have anything perhaps she could borrow?
Oh, well, I'm probably the closest in size to her, so I'll see what I can pick out for her. I'm sure roll up the legs and arms in a bit and get her into something.
Many thanks.
So Pearl walks off, and Kiriga sort of timidly approaches the door and out of the cage.
So
Carrion would just, he has his staff in this hand, but he would offer his left hand to the little girl. Just a few his fingers, because he's probably like huge compared to her.
Yeah, she's not very big. She sort of looks at your hand and contemplates, but then doesn't take it and just sort of walks out ahead of you. She's very nervous of everybody. But she sort of steps a little bit closer to Bravo and like doesn't quite meet his eyes, is staring somewhere at his chin.
Mhm.
It's like
His big bushy beard.
Great big bushy beard.
Thanks for the food.
Oh, you're most welcome. Should you need anything else, don't hesitate to ask.
Okay. And then she starts to like walk off towards the galley because she knows exactly where it is. She's been stealing food for days.
Yes, Kiriga, try not to wander too far without me. I don't want one of the crew to think that you have escaped. Because you certainly haven't. So, yes. By the way, Bravo, did you show her Grillian? I'm sure a child would love to see Grillian.
Yes. Well, Gurlian has been around. She's flown sort of all over the place. Many a time she is nestled in my cloak. I'm sure Corrigan has seen her. I'm absolutely positive of it.
Yes, all right then. Thank you for keeping her company throughout the night. That means a lot to me.
Yes.
He just pats him on the shoulder.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be a small child stranded aboard a ship where you don't know anyone.
And Bravo just kind of like keeps talking, and I assume Lucarian walks away at this point.
He starts slowly walking towards the galley, like, I'm going to the galley. You can follow if you want. Braddock would love to hear you talk, because I'm going to redirect you to Braddock.
Which thankfully he didn't say that in character.
So Kierga follows you to the galley. And Gleph is back to chopping with Braddock and spots you guys approaching. And,
Yes.
what's this?
It's all right. The captain has given her okay. Just looking for some water for the lass.
And perhaps maybe some extra rations if you could maybe spare it. She's very hungry and has quite the appetite that seems to know no bounds.
Braddock spins around the second he hears Bravo's voice. Stops chopping.
Gleph kind of looks at Bravo and he's like, we don't give out extra rations. That's not how this works.
Are you sure that surely there is perhaps extra food stowed away somewhere?
No, that's not how ships work. No, we take very careful rationed amounts of food on the trip. It's why we can't afford to keep a stowaway. It's why it's such a big deal where food is given out at certain times of day, and that's when you eat.
Well, I will take half rations.
Bravo. She can have one of ours. We have extra. Take her down to where our things are stowed and give her one of ours. She can come from your portion.
Well, all right. Well, okay.
Water she can have. It's in the barrel over there. There's a ladle next to it.
On the side of the ship, she'd have some.
Everyone's entitled to some water.
Carrion frowns at Braddock, and then
There's plenty on the side of the ship. She'd be fine there.
shakes its head. Yes, Kierga, come now. And he has his big tankard, and he fills it up for her and offers it to her. It's just hanging off his belt, but he detaches it and...
Yeah, she drinks it right down. She's pretty thirsty. By the time you guys are done with that, Pearl returns with some clothing, and she sort of takes the girl aside and puts her into it. And it's still quite big, even though it's halfling sized. But she just rolls up the hems a couple times, and it fits her well enough.
It's like when your niece or granddaughter comes over to visit, and like you give her one of your shirts to sleep in, and it's just like it's dragging on the.
It's not quite that big. I mean, halflings aren't that tall, but she does have to roll it up a couple times. So she's dressed more warmly. She's fed and watered, and is, however, begrudgingly willing to help out if it keeps her out of the brig.
So Braddock goes back to his chopping. He's kind of got his back to the assemblage that's still in the galley. Almost said brig, and he just starts talking. Oh, so that's our wee stowaway, is she? Huh?
She's not that much shorter than you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she still looks up at you, but she probably comes to about like the sternum on you. Yeah, she doesn't come closer to you at all. She just sort of looks at you from afar.
So he said, he's still chopping vegetables. Where did we find her? After all our hard work and looking.
Gleph sort of speaks up, and I noticed some rations going missing, and I told Wrath about it. He was poking around in the cargo and found her hidden behind one of the crates. Picked her up in Luskin.
Oh, found her in Luskin, did we?
Well,
and now am I to assume that she's your charge then, Carrion?
Yes, by request, actually.
Well, suppose if she's in your hands, she's at least in capable hands.
Compliment.
Ooh.
Offhandedly.
Yeah, a little backhandedly, but you know.
Yes.
Well, you stopped sort of saying that you've been watching a child this whole time anyway.
Yes, well, I suppose we do have our duties to attend. Thank you. And,
So just before you head out, like just before you get out, Braddock speaks up again. Out of curiosity, Master Druid, what are your plans for the wee lass once we get to port last?
that's to be determined. I don't really have plans for her. She is her own person. Hopefully, we can find her someplace. I suppose anywhere is more pleasant than Luskan.
But surely we can't leave a child by themselves unattended. Yes.
No, we would never just leave her on the dock. I will figure something out when we get there. If we're going to port, it will be at least a day while we are there. There will be plenty of time.
Good. Well, as long as we decide that we find someone to take charge of this young child, then all is well with.
Right?
Yes, then about our duties then. They probably don't actually have anything to do until like midday anyway.
Mhm.
So they just kind of wander about the ship and amuse the child.
Yeah, you get her familiar with sort of the terminologies, the habits and jobs of the other people on the ship so that she knows how to stay out of the way and what's dangerous and sort of general information. And she does seem to like being up on deck and like runs to the side and looks over the railing and whatever. But she, for the most part, will follow you. So
I make a point to stay out of Wrath's way in sight.
he does throw a couple looks over and like rubs his arm where she bit him. But he's got lots of scars. It probably doesn't bother him that much. So in the meantime, you guys go about your duties. Bravo is called upon by Quarrel to see to more repairs. And at about midday, Pearl goes to visit North. And is she still below decks in the hammock?
Yes. She's starting to come to, but her her sleep schedule is a little bit off, so she's still kind of groggy, which means that she's probably going to be more awake tonight. And then she'll try and stay up so that she can get back on track and actually start helping. Probably right around the time where they get to port last, she'll finally have her sea legs.
Well, she hands you your latest dose of her remedy, and then
She's weirdly starting to like it because she's a little excited about it.
But she says to you as you're drinking it, so the captain just wanted me to pass along that she needs to speak with you this evening after supper. It'll be great. So don't be late. Good luck.
She's gonna kind of laugh as she drinks the last of it, and will kind of wipe the rest of it off with her hand and be like, I don't like the way you said that. Why do you sound so nervous? Should I be?
No reason to be nervous.
I guess I should thank her for having Carrion take the child out here. I don't know that I could have taken Bravo talking for it. because she had been in the same area where Bravo was just chatting. But she was too sick to really do much about it, so she just kind of had to put up with it.
Well, I hope you managed to get some sleep. But he did seem to be entertaining the child for a while, so that's good. But Coral will keep him busy for a time. Always lots to do.
Well, thank you, Pearl. I really appreciate it. And I will see the captain after supper.
Excellent. Well, I'm off. Lots to do. So she heads back out, and the day progresses. Braddock, there's a lot to do at mealtime, but you're pretty well into the swing of things now, with Gleph guiding you, and your adeptness with the knife and the chopping, and sort of getting into a groove of food preparation.
Is the food, they come to us, or like we divvy it out? Like, is it like a banquet? Like they all sit at a big table, like a big picnic table kind of thing, and eat? Or is it just like come and get it when it's ready?
It's sort of like soup kitchen style. It's like you keep it in a big pot and you ladle out the portions. And then they eat it wherever they can eat it. There's not really space for a big table or anything. And people are either like in the middle of a shift or going to shift or going to bed. So they just sort of eat on their way to wherever they're going.
Is there a Postmates service for this?
Yeah, but it's super expensive, and sometimes they eat your fries.
The food is hearty, but not fancy. Fills the belly.
Potato soup day after day.
Well, there's meat and some veggies and things as well, but it's nothing fancy. You do what you can with what you have, and everybody works hard enough that they're just glad to have a full belly and warm food. But it goes along, and eventually supper passes. And I think that this is a good time for the break, a good stopping point. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Grab yourself a drink, a snack, do what you want. I'm not your boss.
Yes, you are.
But we'll be back in 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'd like to give a lovely shout out to Anne over at Curious Crafts. She's such a lovely, lovely person. She does a lot of really creative things. She makes monster minis. She makes map landscapes and just so many cool creative things. And she's been doing D&D one-shot, like collaborative building. That's been really neat to watch. So you should definitely, if you get the chance, go check her out at twitch.tv/curiouscrafts and hit her up in her streams. She's just very talented, welcoming, a really nice person all around. So definitely check her out, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Lauren got all happy.
Hello! Welcome back to Riff and Revel.
We were here all along.
We weren't.
No, we weren't.
We were here the whole time.
Can't prove it.
We
Cheers.
have our drinks. We're ready to go. Let's just jump right back in. So,
Not Guinness.
it's very clearly not Guinness. So dinner has been served. Night is falling, and
What's
Oh,
for
in
dinner?
the game. I for whatever reason, I thought dinner has actually been served somewhere. Sorry.
What's for
What's
dinner?
late for
Mug.
dinner? Yeah, I think you're cut off there, Mr. Dwarf.
Mashed potatoes.
Actually, I made my special taters precious.
Haters.
Sounds made up.
Anyways, fictional dinner has been served and consumed, and people are switching shifts, some going to bed, some taking up their jobs on the ship. Kierga is prepared to go up to the crow's nest. She seems a little daunted by the climb at first, but she seems relatively fearless once she starts scaling the ropes behind you.
No, actually, I would
or-
have her go in ahead of me. That way, if she falls,
Okay.
catching
You-
is possible.
Good point. She seems pretty good at climbing. She struggles in a couple spots just because she for the reach. But you help her out and she makes it up. And once she's up there, she seems fairly excited. Any sort of apprehension she may have had is totally gone. Noga is just like, I'm going to bed.
Bedtime.
Is it Norga or Noga?
Noga.
Can I adjust my notes?
It's also in the group notes.
In your butt.
My notes had it as Korga.
Noga, Wrath, Quarrel, Pearl, Sorn,
Does Quirrell
Jauhan.
have a turban?
No, it's not Professor Quirrell. It's Quarrel.
I can
I know.
wait for Bravo to recall all of these names with perfect.
Gleph. Well, he hasn't really interacted with everybody. Mostly he's just with Quarrel, but
Bravo's got this.
So,
Don't worry.
totally.
he kind of, yes, good night, Noga, and kind of stands passively. He's, keeping an eye on things, and Kierga kind of letting her be a little kid. Not much really to do up in a crow's nest other than, oh, what's over here? Oh, what's over here? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dave.
Dang it. I'm sorry.
Dave.
Gotta stop.
And he's gone.
He'll be back.
sorry.
And he was never heard from again.
I keep looking
I
around
said
the
he was
map.
never heard from again. Shh.
Just click and drag. Click and drag.
It doesn't work.
Then
I-
use the scroll bars on the side,
It doesn't work. I know
bottom.
it doesn't work. It's not the computer. It's not the internet.
Sorry.
It's okay,
fine.
but you
I
will
got
have
you.
to refresh.
You will.
I just can't look at the map
There you
ever.
Just
You
use
can
the
look at
scroll
it, stop
bars.
not looking at it. I think that's the problem. Anyway.
Okay.
No, I'm looking at it and my mouse, if I go like this,
Yes, it
it
swipes
goes
back.
back.
Yes.
You know
I
why?
was really hoping for it to go back just then when he did it.
That would have been fantastic.
Okay, so yes, Kierga seems pretty fascinated with the view. I mean, it's mostly just water, but she having the wind, especially up here. And now that she's dressed a little more appropriately for the cold, she's not as shying away from it. But yeah, she seems fine, comfortable up here.
How big is the crow's nest as far as height wise? Can Carrion sit against the pole and still see, or does he need to stand?
It is intended to stand, but it's not like fully solid in terms of the basket, so you could see between the slats a bit.
Seems safe.
I mean, it goes up to waist level, so it's not like you're going to slip between them. And
yeah, let me just call OSHA real quick, Dave.
Yeah.
All right. So Carrion would probably wait a while and let her kind of get her oohs and ahs and acclimated to it until she'd simmer down a little bit, and probably wouldn't say much. Once she finally does calm down, though, he would try to engage her. So, Kilda, how is it that you came aboard this vessel? And he would be speaking in Infernal to her, not in Common.
Race.
I snuck on when nobody was looking.
So, how did you get by in Luskan? I'm not going to ask why you're aboard the vessel. I can only assume one does not want to stay in Luskan.
No. It's a hard city. But it's the only home I've ever had. I've been there as long as I can remember.
So, you were born in Luskan. That is a hard life, little one.
Yeah. Oh, I got by.
Quick, we just got a report that the audio may have dropped. Just checking.
Oh.
My encoder seems like it's all good. It's hearing you, it's hearing me, but just looking for a little confirmation, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep. Hi, Dave.
I can hear us on the stream.
Okay. Nope. As long as we're still good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, life is an interesting adventure. I suppose you and I have more in common than you'd imagine. And he kind of looks down at himself.
He kind of looks down.
He looks down at himself. So I don't know how close they are to having the spell expire, but he wouldn't try to renew it when it does expire. He's just going to let it go.
Okay.
Yes, I was raised in a city, not quite as terrible as Luskan, but Waterdeep is where I grew up. And growing up alone as a child is very tough. But I can tell you are a survivor, so I suppose you're not giving up. I mean, you boarded the ship all on your own, probably doing better than I would do as a kid. So just hang in there, and I know sometimes it's easy to take and steal. I mean, you have no other option sometimes, but try not to go down that path.
Okay. That's... I'll try.
That's a good lass. That's all I could ask. I know growing up in Luskan, and I guess anywhere as a child all alone, there's not much else you can really lean back on. That's the only thing guaranteed to put food in your belly, but... Well, you've got me now, and Bravo certainly, and I don't think you've met North yet. She's been busy being sick and all, but she's there. I'm sure North would love you. We may not be together very long, but I hope we can show you that the world isn't quite as bad as you may think.
Well, I mean, you guys feed me more than anyone else has done.
Well, that's good at least. So he just away from the sad topics. What do you think? Quite the view up here, though. Probably not too much to see out in the open sea, but once we get closer to shore.
Yeah, it's nice to see the stars, though.
Yes.
Always a lot of smoke in Luskin, so...
I'm sure Carrion would probably know some constellations, right?
Oh,
Being a
certainly.
druid.
Yeah.
Do you know of constellations, Kirga?
No.
Do you know what they are?
No.
So you see, long time ago, people made up names for the formations of stars. If you look at them, you can see that they're arranged in a specific way. Like that one there is Dave's a butt face, and that one.
That's my favorite star.
Who is this Dave, and why is he a butt face?
We may never know.
That particular star is a gas giant.
And then you can see, if you use your imagination and connect the lines between the stars, they can almost make a picture. And he would just name a few constellations. And you see, they're likely using the stars to guide the ship. Because no matter where you are out in the sea, you can look up and see where the stars are and guess where you are and guide yourself. Even on land, actually, it's very effective.
Where did you learn all this?
Well, I am a druid. I guess you wouldn't really call it a trade. It doesn't make much money. Not that you need it as a druid. But I have been living my life in a place called the High Forest. Not as north as Luskin. Many animals and trees. It's lovely and green and peaceful. Not many people, but enough.
And they accept you there?
Yes, they do. I think that was one of the first times anywhere, actually.
Do you think maybe you could take me there?
Oh, they're tugging on those heartstrings.
I know, right? Carrion would go silent and ponder for a little while.
Hell yeah!
Hey, North, guess what? We're going home! What do you mean we're going home? We're going home! Okay!
Well, the High Forest is very far from where we are. How many days walk would it be?
From Port Last?
Yeah, it'd be a long way, right?
Yeah, you're looking at like almost 2 months, maybe?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It would be closer from Waterdeep.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you, Kirga. I don't know if I can take you to the High Forest. It's a long way away, and my companions and I are on a very, very important adventure. But, we may be able to get you there nonetheless. I can't guarantee I can take you, but I'm sure we can scrape together some coin and hire someone to do it. What do you think?
I trust you.
Living in the forest is nothing like the city. Nothing at all. Shut up, Dave.
Stop.
I can see you.
The city wasn't great.
No. No, some people enjoy it there, but I share an opinion with you on this. No. Alright then. If you'd like, then we'll do our best. I'll send a messenger, I suppose. I don't know if we can do it from Port Last, but maybe from Waterdeep, though I'd have to convince the captain to keep you on. We have enough rations, I suppose, to feed you just from our own stock. They're not very tasty, but they'll fill you up.
Better than the scraps I find on the streets.
Aye.
Okay.
Did the spell expire already?
Yeah, it would have expired around now.
Okay. And I'd appreciate it if this was just our little secret. No one else knows.
I understand. If I could do that, I probably would too.
Well, you won't have to. In the High Forest, you won't have to. Don't worry.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say. Like, I could keep talking. Like, I could make up stuff to say, but we're running out of time.
Well, you guys sort of spend the rest of the night, like, pointing out more stars, and she asks you questions about the forest and druid stuff and whatever, and you just generally converse.
Hell yeah, druid stuff.
Arian, not a puppy. Great.
North is jealous.
Does she ask Carrion if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it? Does it make sense?
I don't think that the small child is much of a philosopher.
She did ask if it fell on a dwarf if it screamed loud.
In the meantime, North, your appointment time has arrived.
Okay, so now that she's feeling better, she has decided to kind of bathe a little bit, sponge bath type thing. She took the double braids out of her hair and went to just one long braid. She is gonna wear, she's still gonna wear a part of her armor and the Yeti coat, as she's not quite accustomed to now the outside with the breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to nervously make her way to where she was supposed to go.
All right, so you make your way up the stairs to the main deck, and you actually see the captain outside of her quarters speaking with Wrath. And she sees you as you come up, and she just sort of nods and finishes her conversation with Wrath. And then he wanders off, and she approaches you. Good evening, North, right?
Correct. Good evening, Captain.
I hear you've been under the weather. It's not unusual.
Yes, I've actually never been on a boat before, so I didn't quite know this was a thing.
Yes, it takes some people longer than others to get their legs about them. Pearl has told me that you are a cleric of Sylvanas?
That is correct.
She starts walking towards the front of the ship, sort of leading you slowly across the deck, and like right up to the very point of it, the prow.
Bow.
Bow, whatever. The front. And it's
I don't know. Ship things.
It's very like you really feel the motion up here, like it's just dipping and rising and dipping and rising. And she's standing with her hands behind her back, like just fine. But you are near enough to the railing that you could hold on if you needed to. But she's standing there and she's sort of staring out over the waves. Says, I'm not particularly familiar with Sylvanas, but from what I know, he is a god of the wilds, the deep nature aspect. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, he's all about maintaining balance, specifically the natural balance.
Yes, balance. Well, if you consider the ocean, it is a wild aspect of nature. It is untamable. And yet, there is a balance to it as well. Though it is powerful and dangerous, it also is life-giving. It has the balance of life and death, much as the wilds of the land do. So, perhaps consider what you've learned on land and apply it to the sea. You may be able to find that it's not quite so sickening. The thing is that you need to work with this. While the land can be shaped and molded to serve man and your own plans, the sea is not so forgiving. It's more like breaking a wild horse, but you never quite break it. And she sort of puts a hand on the railing and she says, "Here, touch the railing, feel the wood, feel the ship beneath your feet, and close your eyes. Extend your consciousness to the waves. Feel the motion of the ship and how it reacts to the water. It's moving with the waves. If you feel the pattern, the pull, the rise of the water, you can begin to move with the ship as it moves." And then she stops talking, just lets you. And
So she's going to be really hesitant about that because she's been focusing a lot of her the rest of her mental, besides paying attention to what the captain has to say, but like to kind of quell that, like keep that sickness at bay, because that's what she had been just trying to do the whole. So she was holding on to the railing as she was walking up and was using it to prop herself. And then as she was sort of like being guided through like a semi-meditation, she started to kind of do exactly what the captain said, which was apply her some of her meditation from the forest that she learned to kind of channeling it into the boat. And the longer that she paid attention, the easier it got for her to stand still and not feel sick.
the captain stands silently beside her for a while, and then, "So long as you respect the sea, it will reveal its secrets to you. It's important to never feel more powerful than the wave. That is when they will defeat you. Work with the power. Harness it, but you will never be the master of it." Now, Pearl says that you have been recovering, so I expect you to report for duties tomorrow. What would you like to do on the ship?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot that I can do. I know a lot about herbs and nature, so like being with Pearl would be kind of interesting. But I also know a lot about constellations. I figure I know how to navigate on land, but I don't know how to navigate in sea, so that could be interesting.
Well, certainly there may be times when Pearl will require your assistance, but it's certainly not a full-time job for two. But given your proficiency with the stars, I'm sure that Sorn would be able to fill in the gaps of your knowledge between navigating land and sea, and you could assist him. He is our navigator. So, if you would like, when you are finished communing with the sea, as it were, you can visit him. He's at the helm, and he can begin your training tonight, even if you're feeling it.
Okay. And she's gonna kind of like gently like look down at the water and then also look to the captain, and she is gonna kind of smile and say, you know, Captain, I can tell you're a great leader. Paying this much attention to nature, not many people do that, and I really appreciated you kind of guiding me through understanding this. I didn't know that you would be so nice to do so, so thank you.
Well, while I appreciate the compliments, my goals may be self-serving. I do require your assistance. You did agree to help on the ship in exchange for a lesser cost, so it's time to pull your weight.
Yes, but you kind of just told me a love story about how you feel about the ocean, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but that felt a little personal, a little heart.
Is there a connection? A spark?
She puts a hand on your shoulder and it's like, and then walks away.
The captain is in love with the sea.
And did it with the ocean.
So North's gonna kind of like giggle to herself, kind of feeling like, yeah, I was spot on, I guess. Whether that was true or not, that's what's in her brain. So she's gonna put both hands on the railing and see if she can stand being on this, and it's still a little shaky, and she's going to take some time to walk around a little bit. Mm-hmm. She also does not know what is it, Sorn?
Sorn.
Yeah, she doesn't know who Soren is yet, so she's just kind of going to meander on deck. Get fresh air is nice, seeing the stars is nice, and getting her balance on the ship, because she's not going to be any use if she's going to be like, okay, I can work, and then 2 seconds in, no, just kidding.
Certainly. Yeah, so there is still quite a bit of activity on the ship, as there's 2 shifts of sailors. But eventually you can make your way to the back of the ship, sort of up a small flight of stairs to the helm where the big wheel is. And standing at the helm is a dark elf. His skin is jet black, and his hair is white, like snow white. He looks like a younger Bravo, just with black skin instead of white skin. He's got the same snow white hair, just his is on his head instead of his chin. And he's just sort of standing quietly, making small adjustments to the ship every now and then. He kind of watches you as you climb up, but doesn't say anything.
She's going to slowly watch her steps as she gets up, and she's going to kind of look around, and then she's going to spot him and freeze.
He sort of glances over and... Are you lost?
Is Soren here?
I'm Soren.
Oh, you're Soren?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay. So you're the navigator?
Yep.
Okay. I'm here to help you?
Are you about to hurl?
No, I'm a better...
Quick, get on his good side. Quote existential philosophy.
Is there a reason you're looking for me?
Yes, the captain sent me to, help the navigator, who is you, Dro.
That, gonna be a problem?
No! Secretly, she's just like, I can't believe that I'm actually seeing a Dro for the first time. She's got a very, hard good and evil sense in her brain, as she is still somewhat of a teenager, even though she is 40 years old. Half elves don't reach maturity until 50 or 100 because they can live between 200 300 years. And so in her little small world, Dros are evil.
And
so
for the most
scared.
part, she would be correct.
Yeah, she is scared.
He sort of he's sort of standoffish. Obviously, her behavior, he doesn't seem surprised by it. But he's like, all right, have you navigated before? What is...
I've navigated on land and from the high forest. I know the constellations. I was given a bit of education in that.
Well, that's part of it, certainly. Are you gonna be okay? Like, you look kind of pale.
I've just never met
Dark elf.
Racist.
Yeah.
Is she shaking her hand?
No, she's like motioning, trying to not be rude, but is also still ignorant in her, of the world.
Yeah, there's not a lot of dark elves on the surface.
No.
Okay. Well, he starts like giving you a bit of a rundown on navigation. He's like not helping you at all with the discomfort. He's just like going on. And so he starts, explaining the tools that he uses and how he, aligns the ship and generally sort of, heading, like where the current heading is and where they're going. And he does a lot of the current navigation by memory. He's been here so many times on this path, but he starts to give you sort of an introductory lesson to navigating on the water. And it's a lot of information, and he doesn't seem to really like slow down or assist you in any way. Like, it's just
learn by fire hose.
Yeah, you're gonna learn this, or you're not gonna be helpful.
She does have her journal with her, so she is going to be taking notes, flipping past previous notes, keeping her little things that she's dried between her pages tucked in as much as possible, taking mental note that she's going to need to secure those if she's going to be on deck with the wind whipping around. She doesn't want to lose the thing that she's picked up along the way. And she's going to try her best, but she's way too scared to ask him to slow down or to double back around. She's just going to hope that she can either ask Carrion or that it's just going to come up and hopefully he doesn't kill her if she says, I don't remember what that was. But she is determined to just listen.
Okay, well, it's of a rocky first meeting, but eventually he just sort of settles into his usual routine, and he doesn't really offer you much of anything. Like, he doesn't offer you to take the wheel or anything. Like, he just sort of, that's enough tonight. Just goes back to his business. He doesn't like say that you have to leave or anything. He doesn't like turn his back on you or anything, but he very abruptly stops talking. He is not in any way going out of his way to make you feel comfortable. But he's not also being rude about it. He's just like straight to business.
She's going to stay out of his way. Definitely a couple steps behind him wherever he goes, observing, half out of needing, in case she needs to defend herself. And then the other half just really being out of his way because she doesn't want to be stepped on or to get on his bad side in that way. And then when things settle down, it seems like obviously he's not going to offer her any hands-on training for today. She is going to take a step back and kind of think about what the captain said about the sea and think about the different characters that are on the ship and kind of how that relates. Mm-hmm. And also just kind of take note of stars and things. And unless he needs her, she's just going to kind of be in North La La Land and stay out of Soren's way.
Fair enough. And he seems content to do that. He's not like tense or anything. He's very relaxed. He does have a weapon at his hip, but he's not hanging around near it. He doesn't pay it any mind. He seems very comfortable. He's unthreatened. Certainly he's doing his job. But yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to do before the night is out, Carrion? No?
No, because the captain's probably asleep.
Most likely, yes.
Before the end of my shift, I would do a druid craft, which is a cantrip, so I can do them infinitely!
Yes.
Per day, per hour, per second.
Well, I mean, it takes 6 seconds to cast, but yes.
Infinitely per 6 seconds. So I'm gonna do the one. It's Druidcraft. I can do a variety of things with it. I want to use it to do like a little harmless sensory effect. Is what the description is. Here, let me do the thing. How do I click on the thing?
You should just be able to. Yep.
So it's going to be this this first bit right here is what I'm going to do. And I'm just looking to find out what the weather effect is for tomorrow.
Oh, I did not know I could do that. All right. You cast the spell and you get the sense that it's actually going to warm up a bit, like unseasonably warm, which at this point shouldn't bring on any sort of stormy weather, but it may certainly affect like visual, like it'll probably bring in a fog.
Like warm, like the boat's gonna be on fire?
No, the weather will be warm.
Okay, just checking. I wasn't sure if it was like an ambient temperature sensor.
This is not like future sight. This doesn't.
You personally will be very hot tomorrow because they will roast.
If that's the case, then at the end of the shift, he would head down first, have Kirga follow him down, or if she's sleeping, just kind of like over his shoulders and bring her down. And then find whoever would be in charge, whether it's Wrath or the captain or whoever would be in command at this time, and just let them know that he would. Who is it?
It would be Wrath at this.
Wrath. Is the kid sleeping?
She would have woken up to climb down.
Okay. So he'd find Wrath. Mr. Wrath, I just wanted to... I thought you ought to know. I discerned some of the weather tomorrow using druidic magic. Seems it will be a bit warmer. I expect perhaps a fair bit of fog. So hopefully the weather won't be too rough on us, but maybe difficult navigating.
That's a nifty trick.
Yes. Didn't actually expect it for sailing, but handy.
Alright, well, Soren's pretty good at what he does. We should be in Port Last by tomorrow, so should be fine.
Okay. Oh, did Norga?
Noga?
Noga?
What are you, Bravo now?
No. Oh, I have it as Noga in my notes. Was Noga like passing us, or was she up in the crow's nest already?
She would be heading up.
Okay.
Right about now.
Just typical greeting and yep.
Alright.
Best character ever.
Yeah, she's
nodding at each other.
She just give it mutual understanding. Alright.
So is there they would go below deck, and is there like a spare hammock or anything?
Not really.
Okay.
Base is pretty tight.
Okay. Yes, Kirga, you can, I suppose you can sleep in the area you were before, or you can sleep on top of me in the hammock. The big belly's worth something.
And he pats his stomach.
Bravo would give his...
She kind of smiles, but she's like, there's a nice spot in the cargo where I was before. It's pretty comfy. It's kind of what I'm used to anyway.
Okay, if you insist. I'll come, if you can just please stay there, not get into anything, and I will come get you when I wake, okay?
Okay.
And then he would get bedroll and blankets and stuff for her and go make her comfortable before getting into bed himself, because he still has his Yeti coat and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else before the night is over? Bravo Corks, Braddock?
No?
Well, you all find your rest, and the next day dawns. Of course, Carrion sleeps a little longer than that, as he was on the night shift. North as well, given her new sleep schedule. But Braddock and Bravo Corks are up early. With the morning shift.
I'd be up early no matter what.
Yeah. And so the shift changes, and people start going about their duties. The captain comes out as well, and she starts talking with Sorn, and you can sort of overhear them talking. He figures that they'll be able to reach Port Last by the afternoon. Early, probably just before noon. So the captain seems pretty pleased with that progress. And after, like, following breakfast, before you guys reach Port Last, you start to see the beginnings of the fog that Carrion learned about the night before. Nobody really seems that concerned, but as you draw closer to the town, it starts to get thicker. And the captain calls everybody up on deck. And he says, once everybody gathers, all right, so, couple problems. First is that our ship will not fit in the harbor of Port Last. It is too shallow. We will have to take the rowboat in, and given the fog that seems to be lingering over the coast here, the ship will have to remain further away from the port than usual. We cannot risk running aground. But I do need volunteers for landing party. Yes. Okay, Arian? Braddock.
Yes,
Brad.
Captain. I didn't mean to volunteer, but I can if that's what you need. I was actually hoping to ask you about not leaving the child in Port Last, but taking her with us to Waterdeep.
Why would I do that?
I was hoping to get her to the High Forest to have her looked after, and Waterdeep is much closer to the High Forest. I mean, she can have from my rations. I mean, there's certainly enough.
Yes. Well, if rations are an issue, well, I would happily share whatever is portioned for me to share with the child.
Braddock pipes up as well. We've got enough extra amongst our group. She's welcome to ours.
And I may add that I can create clean water as we need it, as much as, well, not as much, well, probably more than we'll need in a day at least. And then we don't have to worry about stopping in Port Last.
Sorry, that was Echo.
Oh, Bravo, you okay there? And he pats him on the back.
Yes. Well, I'm rather quite stressed.
Well, I really don't. Children have never really been on my ship. Dangerous place for them. It's a dangerous voyage. We have frequently encountered opposition, to put it nicely, on our way to Waterdeep. Waters here are not safe. She would perhaps be safer on land. I think perhaps if you could secure her voyage in a guarded wagon, there are plenty of men-at-arms in Port Last that I'm sure make the trip to Waterdeep or other cities near the High Forest that she could then move along. If I agree to take her to Waterdeep and the ship is attacked, I cannot guarantee her safety.
Yes, Captain, I understand and am grateful for your consideration. Truly, I am. But I would like to take that responsibility upon myself.
Well, can you guarantee her safety from the Port Last to perhaps the High Forest?
I cannot, as I will not be with her, but...
So her chances of reaching the High Forest from here are the same from Waterdeep.
Not the same. She would certainly face different dangers, but drowning would not be one of them on land. Certainly. She could be protected by more people.
Yes, but we also intend to disembark in Waterdeep, so we can look after her there and make sure she finds safe passage to the High Forest.
I understand your concern, but my priority is my crew. Having a child aboard where you will be trying to protect her, and perhaps my crew will even be trying to protect her, it could put everyone in danger.
I think just us should be fine to protect the child. I think the crew should be about their duties as you need them. I understand. I think I should be more than enough.
And if we are attacked by another ship, will you be more than enough to protect her?
Though I have not fought against another ship, I can think of a fair few things that I can do to lessen that threat greatly. Trying to think of like a really impressive animal for Carrion to turn into.
It's gonna be an elk.
Yeah,
Showcase his power.
Yes, like look how majestic I am.
A big old bear.
A bear.
So like
She, before you start turning into an animal, she takes a moment to consider and then says, what if we come to a compromise? If with my financial assistance, we cannot secure enough security to ease your conscience in Port Lass, then we will take the child to Waterdeep.
What kind of financial distance are we talking about?
I will offer some of my coin to pay for guards, men-at-arms, to
that is a very
travel with it.
generous offer, Captain, and I think very agreeable to our situation.
Why would you do that?
Because then she is no longer my responsibility. You may think me heartless and cruel, but when you are on my ship, you are my crew, you are my responsibility, and should the child any harm under my care, that severely damages my reputation.
Well, I wasn't going to say heartless.
I've been called worse.
I think that is fair.
Most fair.
Expensive, but fair. Sure, granted.
Braddock, your input is not necessary.
When has it ever been?
Yes.
If we are in agreement, then whoever is coming aboard to land should prepare your gear. We will be departing shortly.
Yes. Well, I should like to go ashore and make sure that the child is well cared for.
Fair enough.
I already volunteered, so I will go and prepare.
Braddock just starts shaking his head and taking his apron off. Well, if two of you are going, I'll not leave you here on the ship alone. North, you might as well come too.
What? I don't want to go.
So,
I just got my sea leg.
so
I
you
don't. I don't want to be anywhere near land now.
Just walking
I just
around town.
I just got the hang of this.
No, we're a group. We're connected together. We move as one. Let's go. Come on, we need to get our gear back on.
You weren't the one that was seasick the whole time. If this comes back, I'm gonna be puking in your hammock, Braddock.
The captain kind of snickers a bit and, don't worry, you won't lose it that quickly.
Her immaturity is showing. There's the bratty North we know and love.
So as you guys prepare, you see Noga and the captain are also preparing to disembark. And Pearl is with Kierga and is actually giving her another set of clothes to keep and has put them in a little bag for her and gives them to her. Otherwise, the crew prepares the rowboat.
Not raft.
No, it's a rowboat.
Inner tubes.
Life. I was gonna say life vest. That's not right.
Raft.
Life raft. No, it's a rowboat. And Noga sort of takes up the oars, and you guys get ready to go to shore. It is quite foggy now. It's difficult to see very far away at all. It's still bright out. Like, you can see the sun sort of drifting through the fog, but the fog is thick enough that you can only see about 60 feet away from you. And you start to row towards shore, and it's a snug fit in the rowboat with the 6.5 of you. Because
Well, to be
Kierga
fair,
doesn't take up much space.
to be fair, Braddock's all the way in the front, just full battle rattle, just like chainmail and armor and axe. He's basically the masthead of the ship.
George Washington across the back.
Yeah.
Noga's actually pretty decked out too. She's got like a big great sword across her back and a breastplate and that. The captain just has like leather armor and a couple short swords. But Noga looks pretty beefcakey.
Look, if you bite the dust, Braddock, I'm not saying that I want you to, but I know who we're hiring.
Well, it's always good to have a plan B.
Well, as far as you know, the water here isn't quite as... They could probably fish you. So,
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's deeper than dwarf deep.
Well, that's... Yeah, it is pretty deep for a dwarf. That's where we'll end it. You guys are on your way to Port Last.
Oh, no.
We've
I know.
upgraded from a big
sessions are
sailing
pretty
ship
short.
to a smaller, not sailing ship.
To a small rowy ship.
Yeah.
Hey, so I just have a quick question.
Sure.
What does old extra NPC we always forget about? Is he coming with us?
Sirac? No.
Yeah.
No. He stayed on the ship. He's not, like, any use to you. He's not good at negotiating. He has no money. He doesn't know the area.
But he was very good at wrangling Bravo. Drunken Bravo.
He's a good
Drunken
character.
Bravo.
That's true. But currently, Bravo is very focused on Kierga. Apparently, when he has someone to focus on, he is, like, laser focused.
Yeah.
So for now, he'll probably be pretty easy to wrangle.
I wonder what we're going to find in Port Last.
Port Last. Should be fun.
My general distrust of situations tells me the fog's not going to be good.
Oops.
Oh, you moved the whole
Oh,
thing.
I
that
did
freaked
move the
me
whole
out.
thing.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Nope. And it's
No,
broken.
almost. You've almost got it. Yeah. No.
Oh, apparently that was not on the map layer. My bad. You all could have moved it.
Well, we did.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's
So-
us then.
That's us. Unfortunately, this is my last week for a couple weeks. I go back to night shift, so I will not be able to play D&D for the next 2 weeks. The rest of the Riff and Rabble crew will have to fill in with some fun one-shots or some video games, maybe. Who knows? We have yet to fully determine that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us as we goof around and explore this crazy world. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you tune in next week for whatever shenanigans we will have planned. You can follow us on Twitter at Riff and Rabble to find out what we will be doing. Well, what they will be doing, because I won't be here. In the meantime, have a great night. Be good to each other. Play some games. See you next week.
Make sure you come find us on our Discord too. Come say hi.
Yeah.
Yes, links in the description down below.
Yeah.
We're super active in Discord.
It was mega active, even.
The most active.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for
Good
tuning in.
night. Thank you.
High five.